Okay, so this is my website, AAAAAAHHH Nails. I had a hard time coming up with a name and I got stressed and I put this as a placeholder. And then I found it funny every time I opened my project, so I just left it as my project yelling at me because it made me feel better. So we have our AAAAAAH Nails. That's the name of my website, the business I created my website for. I put the navigation bar on the right over here. I did a nice color gradient. It's pretty subtle, but I thought it would be a nice touch. So I put this GIF in here using a div element and an ID in the CSS. So I had that there as just some visual interest on the main page. And then I put a little About Us section that just kind of says some made up information about when this started. And I have a little address here. And then I put at the bottom a nice little take a look at some of our work area. I did it in tables so that I could get them set upright. So I did one table for these two, one table for these two. And then I put this one in its own little table just so it would have the same matching background. And there's probably a better way to do that, but that was the way that I chose to do it, to get them all kind of lined up differently. And I know it probably looks a little strange because all of the pictures are different size, but you know what? I think it looks okay. I also put a little JavaScript here that tells you the last time that this was modified. This was modified right before I started recording this. I just went through and resaved everything, so this is pretty current, up to date, and I put the copyright symbol down here in the footer as well. So after that, we have the Our Services page. I did a nice table here with the alternating colors and the CSS, just like the Java Jam website had, and I put just a little description of what everything was, and I also used the bold command to get the subgroups nice and bold in there. So that's really all that I have on that page. This is a fairly simple page. I did a Book Now page, which as you can see also has a little GIF here at the bottom, which I did in a div element. I also put the name, and I made it to where everything here was required. So I'm just going to go through and put in some stuff. Nothing for real. And I made it to where I probably should have counted that 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you do that, you have to put in the requested format. I put it to where the numbers would be. They had to be separated by a space, so you would put the area code, the first 3 digits and the last 4 digits, and they have to be put that way or it will not accept it. I also made it to where you have to pick a radio button, and then I also set it to where you have to pick an item in the list, and I made it to where the Choose Your Service is not a valid item. So was there a new polygel? And of course I do not actually have the page. I actually just put it to the Java Jam page so I could ensure that it was going through. So I don't have a nice page for that to go to, but of course if I were to make this a real website, I would have that, and it would be nicer and it would go through to a database. So that's pretty much all that's on this page. Everything on here has been listed as required. I used radio buttons, I used a select list, I used the email, and then I did the phone with a pattern setting to make it to where you have to have 3 space 3 space 4 numbers. And that's pretty much all on that page. So on our shop page here, I have a little H2 heading that says merch. And then we have 3 items in the merchandising shop. We have a nice t-shirt here, a nice bag here, and then some cuticle oil, all with a little add to cart button. So we have that. And of course, if you try to go to add to cart, it takes you to this page that no longer exists. So I have my little thing, and of course you would have it go through to an actual cart where it would process and tell you what you had ordered. So that is pretty much my website. It's nothing super fancy, but I do feel like I learned a lot, and this was a really fun project to do and to just kind of make it my own. So that is my website. Thank you.